That sounds crazy. That's almost doubled than what they were this time last year. It's like 2.86. So interest rates right now will be high 5s to 6s for the rest of this year. They may plunge a tad bit, but don't get too excited. It's not going to be that big of a difference, okay? So with that being said, and interest rates being a little bit higher than what we've been used to, people are wanting to shop, and they're trying to get the best rate out there. There's a lot that goes into when people are shopping interest rates, okay? When your interest rates are based off of credit, your credit score, how much you put down, what type of product you use, what type of product they go into, and your debt to income ratio. So there's a lot that goes into play when you're looking at interest rate. When you look online and you're looking at bank rate or some of these online lenders, those are teaser rates. You're not getting that interest rate, or there's a large cost to it, okay? Yeah. But as a consumer, I want you guys as consumers and your buyers and agents to be educated on that and what to look for to make sure the buyers are getting the best rates.
Yeah, so what Jen is saying, if your client comes up to you and says, oh no, I'm using this mortgage company because I got a 4% interest rate, we want you to be educated enough to say, wait, there might be a hidden cost associated with that, so let's make sure this is actually the best bet for you to take. Why don't you go ahead and talk to another lender so we can see where those hidden fees, if they're existing, where they're lying in your estimate sheet.
Jen, real quick, what are some of the online lenders that are putting those teaser rates out there? What are a few names just so we can recognize them?
AmeriSave, even though their wholesale lending went out of business this last weekend, they still have their retail side. Huge online lender that is known for bait and switch. I have a buyer that shopped me with them last week, went online, saw their reviews, very well known for bait and switch, and that is very common, okay? Bank rate,
Rocket
Mortgage, Quicken. You guys, they may offer a low rate, but there's huge costs, and I'm gonna show you on the next slide what to look for when the buyer is shopping. Real quick, and I know I've mentioned this before, a buyer has 45 days to shop. So from the date that they have the credit pulled for the first time, so if it's today, they have 45 days to have their credit pulled at other lenders, excuse me, without it affecting their credit score, as long as it's for a mortgage. It has to be a mortgage inquiry, and it will not affect their credit score. It's okay for them to shop. They allow that for consumers.
Jen, is there a cap on that, or can
they can go as many times every day within 45 days of the first pull. And it has to be for a mortgage inquiry. They're not car shopping or anything like that. Mortgage inquiries, okay?
we have a question on Zoom? What
Yep.
about a 2-to-1 buy-down program?
All
You
right,
know-
so someone just asked about a 2-to-1 buy-down program.
Okay, so I just heard of that last week for the first time. It's where we don't offer it, I'm just being honest. We don't offer it right now. It's where they have it's a high cost up front, and there's like, for the first year, it's a low interest rate. The second year, it goes up a little bit, and then the third year, it goes into what the normal rates are.
And Linda, it sounds like it's a new program, so
Yeah.
what I would do is like investigate it and get I guess we can get a letter from them showing the rates and everything, and then maybe run that by Jen or Matthew and say, hey, does this look and feel the right way? Because you never really know what's in those programs. They sound really good up front,
Right.
but until you start getting into the numbers, it might not make sense.
Right, exactly. So, what to look for, and is it too good to be true? This here is a sample loan estimate. When somebody is shopping me, I will ask them to send me a loan estimate because I want to see what the fees are and what they're charging for that interest rate. On this page here, this is the second page. So her interest rate at 5.75 has a cost. Here's the origination charge. That interest rate this was last week, $6,700 cost, okay? So she's getting 5.75, but there's also a 1.25 point cost. When somebody is shopping you, always look here under origination charges, loan costs. That's where you will see, I have seen those numbers, at 15,000 before. They may say I'm getting a 5% interest rate, but that's all people are looking at. That's not the only thing to look at when you're mortgage shopping.
And Jen, that cost there, is it paid at close of escrow or tied in the back
It's
end of the mortgage?
paid at close of escrow. That's part of your closing costs. Anybody have any questions on what a loan estimate or anything? I will, and honestly, if somebody brings me a loan estimate, I'm going to be honest with them. If they're getting a really good deal and I see that they're getting a low interest rate with barely cost, I'm going to be honest with you and say, hey, that's a great rate. Careful that you're locked in, because they can bait and switch you at any time. But this here is one thing that you do want to make sure.
What's a healthy price range to be looking at? 1,500, 3,000?
For a buy down?
Yeah,
It depends. You know, it depends on what the buyer wants to pay too. They may say she was looking at a lower rate. She'd rather pay a little bit more upfront and have a lower interest rate. So it really depends on the buyer. Are they looking for the least amount of cost outside, but they don't really care about what the payment is? It really depends.
And in today's environment, I wouldn't, as a buyer, if I got a 5.5 interest rate, I wouldn't want to put down $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 to buy the rate down. If you actually look at your total cost and amortizing it over 30 years, you're better off just taking the rate as is, keeping your money in your pocket, and then just refinancing that loan a little bit later down the road. So a lot of people who buy their points down are just so interest rate conscious. They're like, I need it to be this number, or
Yep.
I'm not gonna buy a house. Well, think through it a little bit more, educate your buyer a little bit more, and you'll be better off in the long run, and they get to keep all that cash in their bank account, maybe to do some renovations or whatever they wanna do after they buy the house.
Exactly.
And real quick, just looking online, an average cost for a 2-to-1 buy down is 2.5%
See?
total loan amount.
Exactly. It's a huge cost up front. That's what I was saying. It's a huge cost up front. I don't necessarily think that's worth it. I mean, the rates are still not, they're not 10% right now.
5.5%
Not
was
that bad.
pre-pandemic was the
Yes.
norm in real
Yeah.
estate. 6% was the norm in real estate. It will
Yeah.
probably remain the norm in real estate. And I think the shock is kind of dissipated over the last, few months. But people are always going to try and get a lower rate. Why wouldn't you? So just keep talking about it.
Awesome. Jen, that was great information. Any questions for Jen? Awesome.
right.
One big
Okay,
clap.
let's give her one big clap. 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jen.
Haven't done that in a minute. It's still exciting. Hey, that's Rob Morganti, everybody. He's on the OG side.
All right, Miss Amy. Oh, go ahead.
I forgot real quick, if anybody after this at 11:30, I'm going to teach a mortgage workshop, not 101, at 11:30 over here. So if anybody wants to stay and join, we'll go over a little bit more in depth.
So people at home, mortgage workshop at
11:30
11:30 today. We'll be Zooming that home today as well.
Awesome. All right, Miss Amy Sawyer from Landmark Title is coming up next.
Annie Sawyer.
All right, so Annie's going to go over a few marketing materials that she does have available for you. She's got some really good stuff.
Hi everyone, I'm Annie from Landmark Title. I just wanted to, if you can go to the next slide.
Yep.
We have a bunch of flyers that we can provide for you in your open houses or listings. These are just some examples. So this is an open house flyer. We also do open house packets that show like popcorn labels or sign-in sheets. It does a worksheet that a client can fill out looking for what they want in home, bedrooms, bathrooms, stuff like that. We have an under contract flyer, a listing flyer, and door hangers. We also do, okay. We also do luxury flyers. They just look a little bit more polished if you have a luxury listing. So if you need any of these, just give me some time because I have to send them to the design team. So they do need about a day or so to process, and then I need to send them to FedEx, which can do a same-day printing. So please don't hit me up Friday afternoon looking for this at Saturday morning.
How much time do you need in advance? Like 3-4 days?
I would say like 2 days.
About 2 days?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the more days, the better, but
Yep.
2 days.
And we'll
is
just
fine.
tell you how many copies we need.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we,
Received the packet and they're great. I did the open house flyer packet.
Yes, she did this.
Sonia did the open house flyer packet. You loved it? It was really nice? Okay. Yeah, I guess we should urge a lot of our agents, we don't get to print them here in-house, so send you an email, address, probably a photo, logo.
Yeah, so send me an email with the house address and when the open house is, or if it's not an open house, just the property address. With, if you want your headshot included, send me your headshot and then the Life Realty logo as well.
Okay, cool. And then you basically get them printed and then you put them in a FedEx and send them to the
Do we
office?
pick
Yeah.
them up?
Then
Send
pick
it-
them up at the
It's
front desk?
whatever's preference. She had an appointment by my office, so she came to my office.
Okay.
If there's enough time, I can drive them here, or if there's enough time, I can send them in the run over
Okay.
here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great service. Yeah.
Any questions?
Well, I'll just throw this in. The ABAs and transaction desk, and then when you're writing an offer, Annie Sawyer, landmark/Meadows on your contract.
Yes.
Let's just not forget that. I'll keep reiterating it. I sound like a broken record, but we just want to make sure we do that.
Yes.
And anything else on your plate for today?
I will be here tomorrow at, what time? 1 p.m. teaching an escrow 101 class.
Escrow 101 tomorrow at 1.
Yes.
I like the sound of that.
Perfect.
All right, one big clap for Annie. Thank you so much.
Annie.
Appreciate it.
All right, our one and only Kevin Wool, where did you run off to?
Oh,
There he is.
Ew.
Woo, Kevin. From
The
First
home-
American Home Warranty.
Home warranty guru. Do we got that on the slide? We do. Okay. I pay
I
attention to the
wouldn't miss
details.
That's it. Hey, good morning, everybody. Kevin Wool, First American Home Warranty. If you don't know me, changes, right? So life, we go through lots of changes. In real estate, we go through changes every single day most of the time, and now we've changed to a new company, right? So, great new house, same old business. You just got to get out there and grind every day like we do, and the money will come. I wanted to remind you, HVAC tune-up option, $25. If you add that on, we come out twice a year, inspect your systems, make sure they're operating correctly. The new HVAC, the heating one will be coming up here in the fall. So if you have that or your clients have that, just remind them it's a good option to put in there. I'm gonna leave some flyers behind too for you guys. I know the big question always comes up on home warranty, especially when you're dealing with buyers. They're like, hey, what's up with this old AC system? Is it going to be covered? Is it not going to be covered? We don't care about the age. We just care that it's in operating and it's working. So as long as you're on your home inspection, it shows, you know, the splits are good and it's getting cool. It doesn't matter if it's 20 or 30 years old and it breaks 2 days after close. We got you covered. So this will explain a little bit more about our AC coverage that you can hand on to your clients. And just remember First American Home Warranty when you're writing your listings and for your buyers. Right now, with all the listings out there, we should be flooded with listing coverage. Day one, you guys should be
Yes.
putting that in place on day one. So
And quickly, 10
Yeah.
seconds, explain that listing coverage.
Yes.
There's some new people at the company.
some of the people that don't know what our listing coverage is, it's free. It's the basic plan. There's no charge to the seller. When you close, there's no charges or funds that transfer. It just simply would transfer to the buyer, and the buyer, either if the seller's paying for one for the buyer, they can purchase it, or the buyer can buy one at close. If they want HVAC coverage during the listing period, we offer up to $1,500 worth of coverage. It's $70 for that. There is a charge, and we do collect that at close of escrow. But the basic plan, right out of the chute, if you want to use it as a feather in your cap, hey, you list with me.
Yes.
I put a warranty in place from day one. We get a leaky faucet or a garbage disposal or a dishwasher or something that doesn't work halfway through the listing. Things are sitting a little bit longer now. You can call the warranty and put in the claim. We charge the $85 service fee still, but they get it fixed. So,
Yeah, it should absolutely be part of your listing presentation. You're doing this for your clients. They list with you. You're going to put on a seller's coverage at no cost to them.
we've saved a few on the AC.
Yes,
We've had a
we
few
have.
last minute
We have,
deals on the
absolutely.
AC.
And you're the
it's-
hero at
and
the
it-
end
and
of
it
the
worked.
day. Yeah. Annie?
No, so thinking about it like car insurance, I can't go wreck my car and then call them up and be like, oh yeah, I wrecked my car. Can you add insurance on? So same thing with home warranty. We just ask that everything's in good, safe working order at the time you put coverage in place to the best of your knowledge. What's good, safe working order to us? You know, can it pass a simple mechanical test or a visual inspection? So if it can do those and then it breaks after, then that's cool. But if it's broken before, then, you know, obviously we want to get that repaired.
How many days is it good for?
180 days during the listing period. If there's no claim placed during that 180 days, we will extend it for another 180 days. But shh, don't tell anybody.
And
On a homeowner, our garage doors covered at all?
Yeah, we don't cover the door itself. We cover the components. So the garage door opener, the sensors, the spring, if they have the first class upgrade. If it's just the basic plan, we don't cover the spring. It would just be the opener itself and the sensors down below. But if they have the first class upgrade, let's say for the buyer, like what you, yep, that's what you have. You'll cover the spring. Yes.
so did you back in?
That's right.
Okay, he'll keep using Kevin.
Yeah, he'll keep using me.
Did you back into your garage door and got a dent?
Yeah. I get that one a
I
lot.
did it. Yeah, so.
I do get that one a lot where people call me and they're like, hey, do you guys cover the garage door? I backed into it or it came down and it split into a million pieces. Yeah, we don't cover that.
And there's also pre-existing, right? That's built into that listing coverage?
Yeah, so basically we try not to use the word pre-existing anymore. What we say is unknown condition. Unknown condition meaning it wasn't known prior to it being put on, because pre-existing kind of says like, hey, we already knew about it. But an unknown thing, like I've seen it all the time. Like you get a leak in the wall, then no one saw it, and then all of a sudden it springs that leak and it's there, and you're like, oh my gosh, had no idea that was there. So it's just little stuff like that. But most importantly, we have a fantastic relationship as a group together. If you need anything, just reach out anytime, call, text, email, whatever, holler from the top of a mountain. I'll be there for you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, we're bringing up Greg and Brody Plapp now from Accomplished Home Inspections, and they're going to be talking how to manage expectations from the start, how to communicate with sellers, tenants, all that fun jazz. Here you go, sir.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Sir,
How we doing
appreciate
today?
you.
Yep.
Boy, I tell you, this is pretty awesome. I've been involved with moving businesses before in regards to manufacturing, custom cabinet shops, custom woodworking businesses. It is a lot of work. You guys have all done a fantastic job here. I think y'all should give yourself one giant clap.
Let's do that. Bam.
And I wish I was here when Bill moved this table up here, too.
That was not an easy task.
My name's Greg, and this is my son, Brody. We're Accomplished Home Inspections. We come from the home building industry. I've got over 2 decades in the local home building industry here in the Valley. What we do is we provide the reports for you and your clients that is going to help illustrate the current condition of a property that they're involved with. That's going to help them make educated decisions. Okay, it's going to establish benchmarks on the current condition for things like your warranty providers and your insurance companies. And it's going to help mitigate post-closing costs too. One of the ways that we do that is by helping our team effectively manage communication, right? That's what we're going to talk about. Manage expectations, okay? One of the ways that you can do that is through communication.
Right. So I'll take over here. One word that I think Aaron used earlier that was really good was shock. That's kind of what happened here with the interest rate shot up. We see a lot of shock, and we see that on our end with clients, sellers, everyone that we're kind of dealing with. So that's where communication comes into play. It can kind of sound like a broken record, but it is a factor. I was recently on one of our jobs, and an agent and his client showed up to review the findings of the inspection. The seller was home, and I could sense that he was a little perturbed and felt a little off, you know. You kind of get that vibe from some people. When the agent knocks on the door and introduces himself, the seller just starts getting disgruntled. Thank you. So there was a bit of an issue there. He turned the buyer and the agent away, so they're waiting out front. I go outside with them and review stuff, but stuff like that can create a headache, you know. And in this state where the client is in that shock state, who knows how they'll react? And something as simple as a 2-minute phone call to the broker on the listing side could have prevented that. The agent later made the call as soon as he went out, and everything got resolved and was fine, but just being up on communication can prevent things like that. So what we do on our end is, the main thing is you can just tell them the process of scheduling an inspection, or you can send them to us, and we'll take that. There's 3 main ways you can do that. You can do it online, you can do it through email, or you can do it over the phone and send us a text message. That's to kind of just prep them on that. Then there's our report. That's supplying them with the information so that they feel confident when they're in this shock state. They feel informed on this big decision that they're making. You know, and they can always come to us with questions. We'll walk them through at the end of the inspection or walk them through over the phone, kind of help them out. And then over than that, you got anything else?
Yeah, we could talk forever about managing expectations with your clients. I like to work with principles, okay? And so I'll leave you with this basic principle when it comes to managing expectations. A lot of times people will say, Greg, Brody, what kind of problems did you guys find with the house? And the answer is, we really don't see problems, we see solutions. So think about that kind of a principle, okay? Because really it's only a problem if we can't fix it. Okay, if we got a door that's not working properly, rather than talk to them like the house is gonna fall down and it's a big problem, we can talk to them about how they can fix that door so that it properly functions, okay? We wanna be careful, we don't wanna diagnose, but we can illustrate, we can go and find the pieces of the puzzle, and we can put those pieces together in a way that will present an illustration to you and your clients that make them feel confident and educated about what they're dealing with. That is what eliminates fear, is having that kind of knowledge about how to resolve an area of concern or an issue. So, not problems, solutions. It's only a problem if there is no solution.
Since the market shifted, are you getting different phone calls from buyers and different phone calls from agents than you did when we were in that deep seller's market, you know, just 4 to 6 months ago? Or is it all kind of just remain the same?
You know, what we see as far as differences pertain more to you and the clients and the sellers, the buyers and the sellers, rather than us. For us, it's always the same. Is the air conditioner work? So
Yeah.
that's everyone's big concern.
I just figure when markets
Yeah,
change,
yeah,
buyers try to
yeah.
leverage that home inspection really, really hard. Not sure if you kind of ran into that lately or if everybody's just trying to get the deal
You know,
closed.
what we are seeing is that we have much more cooperation from sellers than we did before.
Yeah.
By all means. So
Mhm.
I'm seeing sellers that are buying down interest rates on the loans. They're paying for closing costs, and they're covering, handling a lot of repairs. A lot of them will go through their warranty company because they had a listing warranty, and a lot of them will go through other trades, or sometimes they have an uncle or a cousin in the family. You gotta watch out for that. They come over, they fix it. Then they also offer cash to help out with closing costs.
Seen a lot of sellers credit a lot of buyers just to get instead of doing the repairs, hey, in lieu of, here's $3,000, let's just close.
It's still like the Wild Wild West, though.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll get that on one deal, and on the next deal, you'll get a seller that says, I'm not doing jack.
Yeah.
See you later, and that's if they answer the phone. So we still see that every now and then too. So we're going to leave some cards up here. If does anyone have any questions while we're here as it relates to home inspections?
I'll touch on one more thing
Sure.
real quick. Another thing is if you are not for certain on what all is encompassed in a home inspection, like if you're a newer agent and whatnot, reach out to us or send your client to us, because we recently had an agent, thankfully not in this office, who we gained a client that called us randomly and said their agent told them that the roof is not part of a home inspection and was trying to make them go with this company.
Oh boy.
So
Okay, let's
something
not
like
say that, guys.
Yeah, right. So if you're unsure about what is involved in inspection, or there's different ones, like today we did a plumbing only inspection. It was a particular case, but reach out to us and we'll be able to get you guys informed.
Yeah, and I want to add, if you haven't used Brody and Greg before, they add such a special finesse with their communication with their clients. With Greg's experience, and Brody here has done both sides. He's a real estate agent as well. The way they communicate with your clients is very informative, honest, and gentle, right? So they have such a special finesse about them that if you are a newer agent, you'll feel comfortable working with them, and they're always lending their hand to help you and educate you as well.
Yeah, and in the report, what I always like, like the extra additional things that they have, like the life expectancy, this is the expectation, this is this. I think that really sort of tailors that. Like sometimes,
We
especially
get-
like with the roof.
Everything that's in our report is an evolution of things feedback that we get. And so one of the questions that we get a lot is, wow, this air conditioner looks kind of old. How long is this thing going to last? And I wish I had the answer, but I never really want to tell them how long it's going to last. And you shouldn't either. So, but I provide an attachment that has a bunch of data that's put together from a different company that is based on a census for our region, on life expectancies for everything that's within the home. So, and then they can kind of go to that and draw their own conclusion. So what we want to do is kind of work with the pieces of the puzzle that fit together and show it to them so that they can make their own educated decision. Okay. Otherwise, there's a lot of liability involved with saying, yeah, you're going to be good on this AC for the next 5, 10 years.
Yeah. It's an important process, important step of the escrow, so we're glad to have you guys partnered up with that.
Yes,
We don't want to
absolutely.
see any cancellations.
By the way, the best answer for that is a truthful one. I've seen air conditioners that properly maintained over 2 decades going strong. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
So Cancellations, we still get them every now and then. Like I said, if there's, you know, sometimes I go into houses and it's just, I feel bad because everywhere I turn, there's something else to take a picture of and there's something to write. They're out there. I have other ones, clean, super clean. I did a 1942 in Boulder City last week. Amazing.
Yeah, right.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that house was awesome. And then we've done new construction where they never even hooked up the heater. The gas line wasn't hooked up, wasn't insulated. So, you know, and then you get a seller who's not responsive and they're not going to do anything. It only makes sense for the client to be like, okay, well, this isn't the house that's meant for us. And they make that decision to move on. 9 times out of 10, when they call us back, we find a house that's much better and it works out. Things happen.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, great job. Thank you guys for all the information today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All right.
All right.
You guys are on point today.
Any questions?
On point.
All right, Matthew Castellano, our in-house photographer.
Castellano in the
Hi,
house.
Matt.
Hey.
All
What's
right.
going on, Matthew? How you been, sir?
Pretty
Good to
good. How are
see
you
you
guys?
today.
Good to see you guys.
We got all your information up here today. Make it look beautiful.
We can
Awesome.
go to
Thank
the
you guys
next
so much.
slide. Yeah, so if you haven't used Matthew before, his communication's on point. Again, I love that your customer service is also that you come from a real estate agent, so you can communicate with your clients and yourself very well. So we have some of his pricing here, and I'll let you take it over.
Yeah, so we do 15 photos for $50, 25 photos for $75, 35, which is pretty much like the average size photo shoot for $150 for $125. Twilight's $150. If you guys don't know what twilight is, it's just after the sun sets, like goes behind the horizon, then you go take the photos and you get, you know, just some nice colors in the background and a good sunset and everything. And if you want to do 50 photos in twilight, that one's going to be $175. Besides that, just give me 24 to 48 hours to get those photos back to you, and I'll have them turned around and sent out. I also do 3D tours and everything.
So you're running out installing and removing lock boxes for you guys. The Twilight photo package is extremely inexpensive compared to what you'll see out there in the industry.
Like $300.
$300. And Matthew has mastered the art, and he's basically doing all of the photography for the entire company. So I recommend him highly. He turns it around very quickly, and all of his information plus the spend is also on Element. So when you guys get listings, let's use Matthew, and he's been kicking butt and taking names.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, very convenient for the lock boxes.
What was that? How do I schedule you? Slack or text is probably best, or you can give me a phone call. If I don't recognize the number, and depending on which line it comes from, I may not answer. Just leave me a voicemail, and I'll get to it.
Yeah, drop him a message in Slack, guys, or send him a text message to schedule your photos.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Matthew.
Thank you, brother.
for
Appreciate
great
it.
photos.
All right. Appreciate you.
Awesome. We have some new agents we're welcoming to the brokerage. So if you see them around, please give them a nice Life Realty welcome.
Kate's here.
Kate, hello. Say hi to Kate back here.
Just so you know, Kate did 110 contacts in FSBOs and expireds and set 3 listing appointments last week. 4 listing appointments.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot as a new agent. She was
Love it.
also at GK Properties for a little while and decided to join us after going to like 5 other brokerages. And we really appreciate you coming on over here. And I love your style. You're really doing a lot of prospecting right now, and it's going to pay off. So keep doing it.
Awesome. Good job, Cress. So we also have Kate. Did I say Cress? Kate.
Kate.
We have a Kate Cress in our brokerage.
You're not losing it. You're okay.
It's pregnant brain. Yeah. We also have Jillian joining us, Scott, Glenn. If we want to go to the next page, we have Zeke, and Yvette is back here. I just saw her. Hi, Yvette. Welcome.
And if anybody's looking for an Armani suit, then contact Zeke. I think he's giving like 75% off, maybe?
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. You didn't hear that from me.
Awesome. All right, we can go to the next slide. We're going to do a nice little highlight for August appointment Mets and Sisu. Look at you, Mr. Christian Carruthers. You have 12 appointments met. Where is he? Good job. Followed by Dunmeyer at 11 and Sonia at 8, Mary at 4, and Justin Perry at 4. Good job, everybody.
Great job. And before we move on, I want to give the top. Well, everybody deserves that. All of you guys are amazing, but what I really.
This sounds like Luis. Luis, is that you?
Hey, Luis, mute yourself if you can for us, boss. Christian and Zach sat down, I think just a couple weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, 30 days ago. It's blowing by fast. But you guys both sat down and said you're going to hold each other accountable to do 11 appointments minimum per month. 10 appointments per month. And you guys did that your first month out of the gate. Great job. Was it a grind? Yeah, great job. Yeah. I mean, these appointments met, the reason we bring up the CSU dashboard is because these appointment mets are guaranteed going to be some transactions for you guys, and your pipelines are just getting huge. So I think Zach was talking about putting 4 to 5 escrows on the board for the month. So it's the prospecting, it's the appointment set and met, guys. It's really, really going to drive your business up. So you guys did an amazing job. You got it. And now we can move on to the next slide, gentlemen.
Yeah, so we all know Zillow it's a huge part of our business, right? And when we get beautiful reviews, we love to highlight them. Our own Kate Alessi got such a beautiful review last week, and the guy actually wrote a novel, but I put just a snippet of the ending of it for you. And here's what he said about our beautiful Kate. As a father, I will never forget the dedication Kate provided my daughter in finding the perfect home. She represented her more like a sister than an agent. Vegas has a lot of real estate agents. There might be others as gifted and incredible as Kate. I've just never met them, never will either. There's only one person I trust, Kate Alessi.
Wow.
It's so beautiful.
Just take it. Make sure you go after your reviews, guys, family, friends, clients, and then when that review hits online, please make sure you respond to it. You'll get business from just doing those little things.
Yep. All right. Well, we have a pro tip. I'll let you take over this List Hub information.
Okay.
Who here has heard of List Hub?
Just a couple? Okay, good. Then we'll have some good information for you. So List Hub is an online syndication site. When your listing goes live on the MLS, make sure when you're inputting it, you put yes to internet. Yes to internet on the input. When you do that, List Hub is going to grab your listing. It's going to syndicate it automatically to 900 websites across all the real estate profiles out there. So when this hits, obviously your listing gets in front of millions of people. And in a listing appointment, this is very special. You have to tell them, when I list your property, I put it on 900 websites. We have millions of buyers that are going to see it, and any leads that come into it are buyers that I'm going to bring to your house to sell your property. If I'm sitting on the other side of the desk with you talking about a listing consultation, this is extremely powerful information. Now, also in the List Hub account, you can log in by going to listhub.com. You enter in your name and the property listing ID. Once you do that, you'll have access to all of the inventory that you have under your name, the publishers, the 900 websites, and reporting. There's reporting features in List Hub that you can enter your client's name in. They'll send them every 2 weeks or every month a report that says this is the traffic of people online that looked at your listing. And it automatically sends it out to your client, so you don't even have to do any of the work.
This is an important piece right now when you're working with sellers. So we all know houses are sitting a little longer on the market. Don't let 7 days go by, 14 days go by before you're touching base with your client. This is one added element that they're getting information from you, which makes you look like your communication's on point.
Yep. We get this conversation from sellers every day. Yep. No offers, no showings. I don't want to price reduce. Why are you not getting me buyers? Well, Mr. Seller, let me show you 5 reports that show that your property is on all of these websites. And there's 21,000 real estate agents in Las Vegas. And I've done open houses. If we're not getting offers, it's not because of me or how I list your home or what my services are brought to the marketing field. It's because we're overpriced. You have to start working on pricing. But this is the conversation that helps you leverage the seller in this, making sure it's not us, it's the pricing of the property. Okay, keep that in mind. You can always use this information to leverage them, and why they're getting those reports, they're going to see it. So when you call and say, hey, did you get my traffic report from List Hub? Well, there you go. That's stuff that you can talk about to make sure they know.
All right, we can go to the next slide.
So when you log in, you're going to see your inventory. Here's all of the listings that are with our brokerage right now, and they pop in there. You can automatically send a seller report, or you can email it yourself. Realtor.com has just purchased a part of ListHub, and they're really working together on syndicating seller reports through Realtor.com now. So not only ListHub is sending out this information, but you can click here on your ListHub account. It'll bring you to your Realtor.com account, and then in your profile, you just add the seller's name, you add the seller's email, and now they're getting more traffic reports from Realtor.com. And it's not like it's blowing them up. This is good information for the clients to see. Next slide, please.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it for
On
our pro
ListHub.
tip.
Any questions on ListHub? It's pretty easy once it syndicates. You guys just got to mark yes on the input for your listing. Any questions, though?
Good.
All right.
Want to bring Roger up?
What's that?
Bring Mr. Roger up to say hi?
Yeah, this would be a good time. Roger, you want to pop up here real quick? Cool. I want to introduce everybody to Roger. He's the owner of Life that welcomed us over so graciously. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Yep. So we got some people at home, and we got obviously all our agents here. We just wanted to show your face, say hi. Nothing really too important.
Just wanted to come in real quick and say thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I love having you guys here. If you need anything at all, obviously Aaron probably will take care of it, or his team will, but our doors are always open, so I'm here to help out, from copier to where's the restroom to whatever you guys need.
How do I get a ticket to the next event?
There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're putting a lot of cool culture stuff, mixers, trying to get the groups out, start to have a little fun over here with our group and your group merging. So got a lot of good things brewing in the background that we're putting together.
I don't know if you told them about Nelly or not.
No, go ahead. Yeah, we posted it, but let's remind them.
Yeah, so we do a lot of things here. We all like to hang out. For the most part, everybody here likes to work with everybody else. We celebrate everybody's birthdays. We like to kind of hang out. We're going to be doing an event. It's at the M Pool for Nelly. You know, old folks in here remember Nelly with a Band-Aid and yeah. But you youngsters will probably have to Google him and find out who he is.
Right.
But it's cool. It's a nighttime concert. It's at I think it's at 8 or 9 o'clock at night at the M Pool. So it'll be really nice. And we're going to have a big group of us going. So you guys are more than welcome to join and come hang out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for
All right.
coming by.
All right,
Appreciate
Thanks,
it, brother.
Roger.
All right.
Thanks, honey.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right, let's do a quick little deep dive on what's happening nationally with the market. Andrew, you want to come help me with these few slides?
We'll go extra fast. I know we're on a time crunch.
Does
Oh, we're
everyone
doing
know
good.
what a affordability index really means?
I have
you
no
heard
idea.
that?
What is it?
All right, so this is the affordability at a glance. Right now, we're sitting at a historic low level. So what does this mean? Okay, so this black line right here represents people who can afford 100% of their mortgage payment nationally. If we're looking over here in the blue bars, 2009, 2015, we got to remember this is when distressed properties dominated the market. People could afford almost 200% of their mortgage payment. Right now, we're at 98.5. So this is basically saying the average income earner for the average price home can only afford 98.5 of their mortgage. Now, we wanted to show you this and paint this picture that we're not in this crazy, dark, and gloomy situation when it comes to affordability. We're almost at that 100%. But what you also need to be educated on, we're nowhere near where we used to be.
Correct.
Anything you want to add to
So
that?
just more options with your buyers, right? And when your buyers come to you saying, I want to go and buy this home, or I want to go see homes, it's now more important than ever to have the conversation about financing and getting them set up with our own Bay First folks, so you don't spin your wheels with them for 3 weeks showing them 20 properties only for them to learn, God, I can't even buy a house. What the hell am I doing? All right, because they're in this state, or they need additional options to make sure they get into a home. So
Yep, and affordability is based on 3 things. Can you guess what those 3 things are?
Income.
That's, yes, wages, that's one of them. Interest rates. And prices, right? So we've seen a large increase of prices over the last 2 years. So that's affecting this, people's income and interest rates, which we've obviously seen a large rise over the past 2 years.
thanks a lot, California.
All right, go ahead.
That being said, are we seeing, like, we're not done going down?
Well, we don't have a crystal ball, but my forecast is things are going to hold steady for a bit, just based on what we're seeing as far as supply and demand. Yep. All right, next slide. Compared to 1 year ago, the monthly mortgage payment rose to $1,944 from $1,265. That's an increase of 53.7% nationally. Again, fun statistics to know to keep yourself educated. Next
Yeah,
slide.
and remember, this is national stuff. It doesn't necessarily 100% apply to Vegas, but we know Vegas is pretty in line with what we're seeing here. And we all know those payments have gone way up.
All
way
right,
up.
next slide, please. All right, so that previous slide is now here on a graph for you to see. Back in June last year, 1253. Now we're at 1944. So you can see how that steadily increased.
It's just fun to visualize it, right?
Yeah. All right, so at this point, we got to be asking ourselves, what conversations are we having with your buyers when they're asking, is it a good time to buy? Can I afford it? Should I buy a house right now, right? We need to be prepared, we need to be educated, and we need to help maneuver them if they really do need a buy based on life circumstances. How can they help themselves get to this mortgage payment, right? If nationally they can only afford 98.5. So can we go to the next slide, please? One thing you can do is have them expand their search area and criteria. That's an easy one.
Easy.
Next one, please.
Explore alternative financing options. So absolutely getting with Matt, getting with Jen. What is available to me? How can you help me get into this house? I have to, right? Maybe it's not a I want. No, I have to. I'm moving here for a job. I need to be in a home. I've got a new baby on the way, whatever it might be. What are my options? Help me. Most people think, oh, yeah, there's one loan option for me. No. There's other products. There's other things they can explore.
Yep, we can go ahead and click it one more time. All right, this is a great resource for you guys as agents to go check out, downpaymentresource.com. There's a home buyer section, and there's also a real estate professionals section. Here you can really educate yourself on what type of programs are available. If you find something, come confirm it with Matt and Jen, get their perspective on it. There's a lot of good marketing materials for you here on this website. Ask for incentives when writing offers. Right now is your time.
This is the big one. This is the big one, and I think we're seeing a lot of this. I know Zach Dunmire's on right now on the Zoom, but I mean, he's getting seller contributions left and right for his offers. I think many of you are. Mary, you're shaking your head. I mean, we're in a place now where sellers are suddenly going, ooh, no, I need to sell and get out of here. What do you need? $5,000? Great, take it. Let's go.
Right.
Let's close this deal,
And
whatever
one
it
thing
is.
we've been seeing a lot, which I think is so smart of agents to recommend this to their buyers, with this seller contribution, use that money to buy down an interest rate, because that interest rate might be what's keeping them at 98.5, right? So if we can get it down half a point, maybe they're at 100% and can afford the mortgage payment.
Help pay for that 2-to-1 buy down.
All right, next slide, please. All right, we are in a place where strategy, discussions, and planning are critically important to make sure we can thrive during these challenging times. Stay nimble, stay informed, and remember, I love this, housing is traditionally one of the first sectors to slow as the economy shifts, but is also one of the first to rebound. That's from Ali Wolf, chief economist over at Zonda. And Aaron, with your experience, I'm sure Las Vegas holds even more true to that statement from what you've seen in the past.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years, I've pivoted, we've shifted, agencies have, gotten together to, get through the ups and downs of the real estate markets. It's always changing in Vegas. I can never even get, a relaxing year out here. It's so freaking crazy. It's a roller coaster. But that's also the fun in it, and why we get to, have these great runs. And when we hit a shift where it comes down a little bit, and you got to kind of like refigure out what your business plan is. It happens to all of us as agents, all of us as brokerages, lenders, and all the entire economy. So you just got to kind of stay ahead of it. You definitely have to be nimble and pivot. And it's a part of your business you're always going to be in. Regardless if it's real estate, a lot of people go through these economic changes, and especially with the way inflation's been lately and things changing right now, I think you could say across the country, a lot of people are making moves. So you guys got to pay attention to where we're going and how your business is going to develop when these shifts happen.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love graphs and charts. I'm a nerd, so bring me on anytime.
All right, and thanks for your patience. I know we're going to go a little over time, but we got some really good information still coming
I
your
don't think
way.
so.
So Aaron's going to go over what's happening here in Las Vegas with a few numbers.
Yeah, let's jump into the market watch. You can go to the next slide. So we haven't done a market watch in about a month. And I'm going to go over some numbers and just kind of give you what we've seen in the last 90 days. So as you can see right now, our inventory is at 4.1 months supply. Now, the stable line here is 12,000 units. And this is about a stable market where we consider it's buyers and sellers, enough inventory, and it's not swaying one way or another. Right now, we're still considered a seller's market, but it's been so volatile lately. There's been a lot of price reductions and seller giving closing costs to buyers. Why does it feel like such a buyer's market right now? Sonia. Well, inventory's coming up. It was that big shock from the interest rates, right? And the inflation. And then all of a sudden the inventory started going up. But what did the buyers do? The buyers all just went on, sat on the sidelines because they didn't want to buy because they don't know what the future holds. They're thinking there's going to be what? They're going to be priced out, or there's going to be a crash. So we saw this big boom with that seller's market, and it really didn't justify the home values, and it doesn't justify paying that much for a property. And I think all the economists understand that. Instead, let's raise interest rates, let's slow down the markets, let's curb inflation. That's what they did. And now in the last 90 days, we've been able to see some balancing and normalization of the market. So inventory increased from 3,000 units to 9,000 units in 90 days. Last week's inventory did decrease, so we're starting to see some signs of it kind of stabilizing right now. Let's go to the next slide. So new listings, it's been crazy what's going on, right? It was up, 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 up. It came all the way down and then went back up, and now it's coming back down. There's some good signs over here to the right. So listing inventory jumped from 1,000 units per week to 1,700 units per week as soon as those interest rates kicked in. Now in the last 30 days, inventory is kind of cooling off right now, where we've seen signs of homeowners basically saying, I'm going to wait to sell my house because I don't know what's going on. And then the buyers are on the sidelines. So right now, if our listing inventory starts coming down, which it is, and we're at 4 months supply, and we get a little run of buyers in the next few months, what do you think is going to happen with the inventory? Somebody tell me, what's going to happen with the inventory in the next few months if we stay on these trend lines right here? Huh? It's going to go down. So if we're at 4.1 months supply and we don't see a lot of inventory and we got the buyer demand coming back, we're going to go back down to 2 to 3 months of supply. And you ask, where's this market going to go? Well, it's either going to hover right around where we're at, little shifts up and little shifts down like you're seeing over here. And if that happens, that's probably the rest of the year. The second that buyer demand gets off of the fences and starts buying some homes in Las Vegas, we're going to go from 4 months to 3 months to 2 months of supply, and we're going to be in that low seller's market again. So if I had to predict being a buyer where I want to be right now in the purchasing process, I want to buy something within the next 6 to 8 months, definitely. You start rolling into the spring and the summer of next year, and that inventory drops down again, bye-bye. You're going to be stuck in that crunch that we were in before. So that's what we're kind of forecasting for when you're talking to sellers and buyers. When should I list my house or when should I buy a house? I think that's very important for you guys to know where this inventory is going. Let's jump over to the cancellations here. Well, no, Ethan, you're good. Just stay on. We'll stay on total inventory. Listing cancellations have just remained stable. There hasn't been any big ups or downs. So people are still closing their deals once they're under contract. Total inventory. Right now there's 9,303 homes on the market. That includes the townhomes. That includes the condos. And look at the big jump that we had. Look at how big. We were at, what, 2,000 plus homes to the 9,000 homes. That's a 7,000 increase over the last 90 days. That was pretty big. That's what everybody's scared about. They saw this happening from an article or whatever they're getting their information from. That jump right there is what's scaring all the buyers, along with the interest rates and inflation. So if we can start to see this start to level off right now, and we see that inventory go from 9 to 8 to 7, we're going to be in a lot, I'm telling you right now, that inventory can get chewed up quick because there's a lot of buyer demand out there that just isn't purchasing at the moment. If you pull out the condos and townhomes, we have 7,405 single family homes on the market. You've been doing real estate 20 years. Is 7,000 homes in single families in Vegas a lot of homes? Just generally speaking.
I think it's a great number, Paul. I think it's perfect. I don't think it's a lot, but I mean, it's perception of what we've gone through the last 2 years. I'd say 7,000 forever, so.
Why do you like 7,000 homes on the market?
We could look at more than 2 or 3 and I don't have to compete against this guy and this guy.
That's right.
You know, and I can get some concessions. I can get, you know, a pretty good deal for my clients. Then deal with their buyer's remorse over the next 30 days.
So on the buy side, you love 7,000 units. What if this flips over to like 16, and maybe I'm completely wrong. What if we hit 16,000 units and it's just a buy side? What does that look like?
I don't want it to be that high.
What happens though when we're in that type of market?
I think we got a lot of things wrong in society if we ever hit that.
Yeah, that would be a scary number. If we kept going at the rate we're going now and we hit 16,000 units, then we can start talking about a crash.
I think why this is spiking that I think people don't talk about as much are those iBuyers are gone. They're done right now. So that's quite a few properties that we can look at these days where we couldn't 6 months ago.
Yeah, and that's what makes me nervous.
Interest rates and that, you know.
If you have the iBuyers and the hedge funds out of the market right now, and we just hit 9,000 homes, what if we get a trickle of buyer demand, and you get Zillow and Opendoor just merged, and then Opendoor, OfferPad start coming back in, and let's roll the clock forward 6 months. That 9,000 is going to go when they come back.
Settle high 4s.
Yep.
You know, which I think would be a real sweet spot. I might be a little aggressive on that thinking, but
Yeah.
if we get stabilization there, here's the inventory going back down.
And that's easier to predict, right? I can predict there's buyers that are going to purchase in Las Vegas a whole lot easier than I can predict, oh, there's going to be an economic collapse and then inventory is going to go crazy and it's going to crash. We're not going to see any of that. So if I'm a buyer, right here's that sweet spot, just like he's talking about, to get in there with some concessions and buy a property. It is more so, it's leaning way better for a buyer right now than a seller. And be conscious of that. Next slide. So sold units, under contract units, and back on market cancellations. So I'm going to start here with, sold units in the last 90 days drop. So the sold units in the last 90 days dropped from 1,100 to 800. So why all of us in this room are doing less business right now? That is the reason why. The buyer demand has dropped considerably over the last 90 days, right? Now, if you remove, if you look at the contract cancellations, that's stayed stable, but if this buyer demand doesn't come back, then the inventory is going to keep going up. So it's just really easy to show once the buyer demand starts coming back to the levels we were, 1,300 units per week instead of 800 to 850 per week, that's going to start chomping up all that inventory right now. But this is where we're feeling the pain, guys. This is why we don't have as many escrows as we had 90 days ago or even prior to that. So this is the down period in a shifting market that we're facing, but we're still doing pretty good. It's not like the end of the world happened. It's just a decrease in buyer demand. Next slide.
That cancellation number I thought would be higher. I thought that would be, you would see that uptick as well. Because again, buyer remorse is a real thing.
I thought the buyers would be taking big advantage of the sellers and just trying to ream them for everything you can possibly get and say, okay, I don't want the property, there's more out there, right? And go shopping again. But it hasn't. They're like, hey, I got the property, I got it at the price, everything's looking good and they're closing. So I like that number. Let's skip to the next slide. Okay. Somebody tell me what this means. Somebody has to tell me because I'm up here talking. What does the price reduction slide show? Okay. And what happened, Sonia, in the last 90 days? We went from what to what? We went from 200 price reductions per week to 2,000 price reductions per week.
It means sellers have gotten a really big reality check.
They've been beat, the sellers are getting beat up big time right now. So if they're,
Showing comps from 6 months ago.
no, you only use comps in the last 90 days when you're doing a CMA for a client. If you're showing homes that have only been on the market for 2 or 3 weeks and your client's like, it's overpriced or I can't afford it, now would be the time to still write an offer on that property, because eventually they're going to fall into this realm if they're overpriced, which means they're going to have to price reduce anyway. So if you see a property, fire the offer out if your client's remotely interested. What I do like to see, though, is we went from 2000 to 18 to 17 to 16, then it went right back up. So there's a lot of volatility going on right now. But if this starts to stabilize, the buyer demand comes back a little bit, and the listing inventory is where it is right now, we're going to have a nice, just streamlined, stable market till the end of the year, and then things might start ticking up a bit more when the iBuyers and the buyers start coming back in. So again, this is still a sweet spot. We're tracking it at that level, so when Kate's on the phone call talking to buyers, or she's going on those FSBOs or any of those expired listings, if you can talk like how we're describing it here, this is what's going to get you to the next level with your business. Next slide.
Use this slide on your listing appointments and tell your sellers you don't want to be part of that number, right? We got to price right off the bat.
Amen to that. Hey, yeah, if you guys got questions, Sonia.
If we go back one slide, what was the date when we started seeing like the 12/25? Right there. What date is that?
1st of June.
June.
So I would only do comps of the 1st of June, to be honest.
Well,
Because all those other ones are priced differently.
we're in September now. I mean, it's scary to believe we're in September. It'll be
90
October
days.
soon.
That's 90
but
days.
that's 90 days ago, right? And you could even do in the last 30 days and pull like, hey, in your community, you've had X amount of price reductions, and you want to list it at this number. And what I can't believe is we withdrew 3 listings this week. Withdrew because the clients didn't get an offer on their house within 14 days of listing it. 14 days of listing your home in this market? No way, man, it's not going to happen unless you're priced super low. All good information to relay to your sellers on your listing appointments. VJ, next slide. All right, so we go through each segment, right, based on a price range. Under 275,000, right now there's 43 properties available. It went up from the 9, big jump there. So if you're looking for
7x growth.
if anybody's looking for under 275, there's not much inventory out there, so don't work with too many investors in that price range, please. Next slide. All right, 275 to 500. There is now 3,600 homes on the market, a big jump from only 800 or so. It's very easy to see the inventory is still climbing, but it might be leveling off, guys. It might be leveling off right there. Next slide. 500 to 1 million. Went from 800 units to 3,000 units, and it looks like it's starting to what? Level off, guys. We might be seeing something here. So there's 3,000 units from 500 to 1 mil. I would say that a lot of our price reductions are also in all of this inventory here. Next slide, please. 1 million plus, there's 775 units. And look at it, it's staying straight. I think we're leveling off there, but we only had 300 units. So it increased over 52% in the last 30, 60, 90 days. So there's a big hit in price reductions happening in the 1 million plus range now. Next slide. All right. Real quick, anybody at home or anybody here in front of us right now have any questions about the market or where it's going? Linny Poo.
Yes, where can I find this information?
You can find all of those slides in Element. All you type in is Market Watch, click it, and all of these slides will pop up. So you can use them on your social, you can use them on your listing appointments.
Have it in front of you when you're making calls.
In front of you when you're on calls, that's a great one as well. Good job, Lynn.
Awesome. Okay, new listings. We'll post this on Facebook, but we have a healthy amount of new listings. You can always go into KV Core, go to My Company's listings to see what we have. What's it? What's that?
1120 we're pricing. We're doing a price increase.
Plumstead?
Yep, we did one last week. We're doing one this week.
Okay. We're averaging anywhere from, I don't know, about 10 to 15 new listings per week with the agency guys. Plenty of open house, plenty of mojo dialing, plenty of neighborhood search tools, plenty of knocking doors, plenty of marketing on KV Core, plenty of marketing on Facebook. What other tools and tech do you need? We have it here. You guys can take advantage of this listing inventory. You don't see it at many other places, so it's back. Take advantage of it, guys. The next 6 months, this could start going back down again like we've seen before.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm sure your legs are ready for a stretch, but we just need a few more minutes. All right, next slide. All right, so following this class at 11:30, Jen Whitman's going to teach mortgage. Over here in the corner, it will be available via Zoom as well. Tomorrow, Annie Sawyer's coming in at 1 o'clock to teach all things title and escrow. Thursday, you have boot camp with me, boot camp number 1. There's an 8-part series for that. And we also have call night with Buell on Thursday. So Buell, come on up and tell everyone what to expect on call night.
Hey, Buell.
Call night. Pew, 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 pew. All right, so second Thursday of every month, we're going to do a call night. Everybody's invited. We got Zillow call list, our internet call list, mojo dialers. We have our lovely ISA Angel that comes in and helps out. Any leads that she gets for appointments, she'll be handing out to people that are there. We're going to have food, drinks, music, good times. We had a great time last time. We'd love to see more of you guys out there. We got, I think, 6 appointments set that night.
Yes,
so
that's great.
Come out, see us, and get some more business.
Amen. Let's get some business out of that. Good round for Buell. Thank you, sir.
All right, and we have combined July and August data to come up with our July and August award winners. So we're going to go through that right now. Do you want them to come up, or are we just showcasing their beautiful
We're going to
photos?
showcase the last 2 months of awards. Certificates obviously have to be rebranded. So we're just going to cruise through the awards up here on the screen and give a round at the end for everybody. How's that sound?
Love it. All right. So combined July and August, highest number of conversations. First place, such a huge surprise. Next slide. Our own Zach Dunmeyer. Followed by Christian and Angel. Zach at 624, Christian at 610, and our beautiful Angel at 373. So good job,
guys. Killing it. Great job. I remember when that was like 100. You guys are pushing up to 610 now. It's like you're just working out in the gym and crushing it. Good job.
Okay, so following that is most appointments met.
Next slide, please. Most appointments met, and the winners for the awards are.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Dunmeyer at 20, Christian at 12, and Miss Sonia at 11. Good job.
No surprise.
No surprise
Conversations lead to appointments met. So great job, everybody.
All right, highest number of closed units.
Closed units next on deck.
We have Ms. Sherry Sagum at 9 units for both months, Melissa at 7, and Kate at 6.
Woo! Good job, everybody.
All right, we have our top listing agent. So we have 2 beautiful ladies here. Melissa, 1.875 million in volume, and Kate Kress at 950 in volume for the 2 months.
Wow, good job.
So good job, ladies. And then we have our top selling agent. We have Sherry again at 2.15 and Kate at 1.45 million.
Nice. Kate, come up and tell us how you do it. No, never mind.
All right, so let's pause on the next slide for Rookie of the Month, and Andrew and Buell can come up and talk why we chose Miss Marion Reyna.
Marion Reyna, Rookie of the Month.
I'll start off. Reyna's on my team. She's been working really hard lately, going on a lot of rental appointments actually, and I told her that work is going to pay off, and how it paid off is the first listing came to fruition from a rental referral. So she was putting in the work, doing what she's been taught and promised to do, and it paid off for her. So she got her first listing signed. So good job, Reyna.
Woo!
Boom, Jack.
Good job, Reyna.
And does anybody know who Mary is? So we all know who Mary is. Mary, you're in the office every day. You were in the old office. You're here, hardworking, getting it done, and you picked up $1 million listing, which is kick-ass. Got
And
that
closed
thing
it.
and got it closed too. So all the hard work, the conversations, the networking, everything you're doing, it's paying off, Chica. All right, keep it going. Keep it going.
Thank you. And I will let Aaron talk about why we chose our next Element Award winner.
Okay, well, let's bring him up. Let's bring him up. Lynn, RC, come on up.
Lynn! Our beautiful Linny Pooh.
So it was a setup, and just give me a hug. That's all I want out of you. Okay. I just want to say that the transition to come over life was difficult. There was a lot of moving parts, as you guys can only imagine. And Lynn was just so helpful, and every day came in with a smile, walked everybody through both sides of the offices,
Yes.
helped with the printers, the admin, the list goes on and on and on.
Happy to do it.
I couldn't do it without you. And I love you, and thank you so much.
Wait, and Lynn.
Get out of here now.
Lynn, Annie asked about your pants. Lynn came in this morning and says, I don't care who cares, but my entire outfit's made from Italy. Awesome. All right, we have a few shout outs. On the Flex team, I want to shout out our dear Jim Del Grosso. He had 2 closings this month. One at 365, that was for a buyer. His total GCI was almost 11K, and he had a listing at 345 with a GCI at 8,500. Jim is killing it right from the start, so good job, Jim.
Good job, Jimmy.
And I'm going to shout out Buell for wearing a floral shirt today.
This is something new. I haven't seen that before.
No, was going to shout out Kate. She's running off, going to another appointment yet again. But just some quick things on Kate. Over the last 2 months, we saw, 5 closings, nearly 30,000 in GCI. Her lead sources are all over the place. Referrals. She's got her own personal business. Zillow Flex. She's killing every sector. She's had 18 closings year to date. She's just shy of 7 million in total volume on that front. And as you guys saw in the review that she had, the father there said she represented my daughter more like a sister than an agent. So all that stuff cumulatively, can't help but give Kate a little extra fist pump and some big kudos today. So good job, Kate. Good job.
All right, I got 2 shout outs. One goes to Miss Brittany in the
Hello.
back.
Hey, Brittany.
Brittany got her first listing and got it closed. Worked with a pretty aggressive investor, worked through that and got it to close. And that led to her second listing, which she has now. And she's fielding offers on that one. So if you guys got any buyers, go see my girl over there. So great work for you. That was 7,700 in GCI on the first one, correct?
Yep.
SOI business, that was awesome. Beautiful. And my other shout out goes to my man Christian right here. He got a listing out of the pond, so those conversations paid off for him. 6,500 on GCI there. That one went in escrow. He worked the escrow, it fell apart, lost it, got it back under escrow. Air conditioner broke, shout out to Kevin Wool, and still worked through, got it closed, got it to the finish line. A lot of hard work, and we saw the work that you put in the beginning pay off. So great job, brother.
Great job.
I love it. Thank you for your attention today. We just had so much information, be that this was our first stakeholders in over a month. Just a reminder, these are now once a month, the first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m.
Yeah, keep your eye on the calendar for all the training and the stakeholders, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great week and a great month. And thank you.
Yeah, come hang out with Jen in 5 minutes.
Yes, hang out with me for
Okay, bye everybody at home. See you guys later.
I'm going to go get her set up on the computer.
Okay.
Recording stopped.